this survey is 2NX. That's if you take the overall audience
Hey,
for the
everything
past
must
8
change.
weeks.
Hey, that's Paul Young, and this is Andy Simpson on 2NX.
31% of
It's
the
18
share
to 4.
and dominated in the under-25 age group. Feature of the result is the performance of this man, Andy Simpson. In his 14-year career, he's been surveyed 28 times and won 27 surveys. He's never been beaten in the drive time slot in Newcastle. Keith Harris is the program manager at 2NX.
Well, I guess in sales terms, the greatest amount of money is spent with the station that has the largest share of that under 40 market.
Do those under 40s tend to buy more, do they?
Well, research would indicate that, yeah.
Second overall was 2HD with 28%. The station showed major gains in its older audience, that's people over 40 years of age. This man, Warwick Teeth, scored a runaway win in the 9 to noon time slot with his popular talkback show. His show alone rated 37%. Peter Butler took over programming 2HD last year and is pleased with the result.
I think that the grand old lady of Newcastle Radio lifted her skirts and ran. It was terrific.
In third spot is 2KO with 24%. 2KO has been changing formats to target a new audience. North Express is going through, as did Night Talk. Program manager Tony Paulson says 2KO is on track with its long-term plan to rebuild an audience that spends money, the 25 to 39-year-old age group.
Some time ago it was decided that 2KO should become an adult radio station, and we've been working to that end over the last 12 months, as you know. And this survey has shown us that we have made significant gains in both breakfast and our night talk program, and our adult gains have just been over the top. We're very, very pleased.
Mr. Nakajima, who has been in Australia less than a month, is accompanied by his wife and the consul for trade, Mr. Tanaka. In Newcastle, his first tour was the Kooragang coal loader, where he was the guest of Colonel Manager, Mr. He went on to become the Prime Minister. He explained why he chose to visit the country.
We are very much interested in the kind of development that the Hunter Valley region has been pursuing, and also we are interested because this whole region has a lot to do with Japan. We have a close connection with Hunter Valley region in the field, for instance in the coal production, and we buy a lot of coal from your area, and also the dairy and meat production are the kind of things that we have a lot of connection with.
You spent yesterday at the vineyards.
Yes.
What sort of inroads are our wines making in Japan?
My Australian wines, particularly the wines they produce in this region, are magnificent. Very, very good. And we are trying to promote the sales of Australian wines into the Japanese market, and I think the prospect is great.
It was time to distribute issues collected by Commonwealth Bank employees at branches around the Newcastle area. The appeal is run each year by radio station 2KO and the Newcastle Morning Herald. 4 youngsters from a group home at Cessnock were on hand to check out the brightly wrapped eggs. Radio announcer Mike O'Hearn explained how the eggs would be distributed.
Well, okay, they're going everywhere. The St. Vincent de Paul Society, the Salvation Army, just generally the children who won't get Easter eggs this Christmas, I was going to say. That's Irish for you.
Yes, that's
Easter.
Very Irish.
You know, children who won't get Easter eggs, we'll give them a stack of Easter eggs, I hope.
And are you pleased with the response to the appeal this year?
It's been fantastic because your telephone was so successful. We thought, hey, how successful is the Easter egg appeal going to be? And it turned out to be fantastically successful. Once again, the people of Newcastle, very generous.
And later at Islington Bowling Club, the women gathered while their president, Mrs. Carmen Cecil, handed over an $800 cheque to the NBN
gala on the Sunday, and we had chocolate.
She said that she'd...
Okay, it was from a mixed gala, and we did have chocolate wheels and raffles, and a member of our club, Arthur Adams, ran the chocolate wheel for us, and mostly donations, which our members went and got, and a lot donated by our members.
You've got quite a small membership, Carmel, compared with a lot of clubs around town.
80 ladies, and we think we're good. We might be the biggest, but we're one of the best.
Well, we're very, very grateful for the cheque, and I'm sure you'll all be pleased to know that the money's really rolling in from Telethon, and that's very gratifying for everyone in the community. So thank you very much for that, and congratulations to you and the members of your club.
Thank you very much for your kind donation. Thank you very, very, very much.
Certainly a soft casual style, I feel is probably the strongest thing at the moment. Simplicity, a lot of styles are becoming simpler. Furniture is not as tricked up today as it has been, and it's also dating back to the 30s, such as there's derivations of the the famous designers, the Macintosh, Brewer, Corbusier, and you're seeing that influence starting to come through. And certainly now that people will be noticing all, even the new buildings, the postmodern, the neoclassic, that's also coming into the design of furniture.
And is the design market in Newcastle growing?
Yes, very much so. Very much in the residential side as well as commercial. And that area is challenging in itself. That the commercial side has realised that there's a very important need. Like for instance, at the moment we're doing work for St Vincent de Paul on an aged person's home, and I'm really enjoying that because to be able to put colour and life and some stimulation into one of those homes. I think it's, that is gratifying.
Well, it was very important that there be an improvement. 2 or 3 years ago we were looking at a subsidy from commerce and industry in the tune of 32%. That's been quite dramatically reduced, and of necessity, because each time industry and commerce pay their electricity bill, they have to ascertain how many employees will lose jobs if the increase is dramatic.
It's traditionally been accepted that commerce and industry will subsidise the domestic user. How do you feel about that?
It's quite wrong, and businesses of course have closed because that's been a perception. It's absolutely wrong perception. What we're saying in commerce and industry is that commerce and industry should have applied to them a user pays principle. If you use electricity, you should pay for it, and the same should apply to the domestic areas.
fun running has really taken off in the Hunter. Thousands of people turn out throughout the region to take part in the event. Today, details of a new major fun run to be held on May the 26th were announced. The Tube Makers Fun Run features prize money totaling $5,000.
We felt that as a part of Tube Makers' continuing interest in the community, that we would like the money that we put in to go back to the youth of our community, and that was the aim, the whole thrust of our program. We have opportunities for junior sporting groups to win up to $3,000 for, and not only sporting groups, but schools and youth clubs to win up to $3,000. We also have opportunities for adults to win on behalf of their sporting groups prize money consisting of $2,000.
Residents of the Hillside Nursing Home, Mount Hutton, received various eggs early. Members of the Charlestown Leo Club distributed more than 100 eggs purchased from proceeds of an Easter raffle. For Christians, it is a celebration of the Passover, crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Good Friday services were held at most local churches today in recognition of the event which took place nearly 2,000 years ago. At the Catholic Church of the Sacred Heart in Hamilton, the Holy Tabernacle was opened. It is on this day only that the veil is removed and the Holy Sacrament is taken and placed on an altar of repose. The midday service at Christ Church Cathedral was led by Dean Lawrence, and the sermon was given by Bishop Holland.
There have been many martyrs throughout the course of history. Why is this one different?
Meanwhile, more than 400 young people have pitched their tents at the Singleton Showground for the annual Easter camp. The camp is organised by the Hunter Uniting Youth Fellowship and is the biggest of its kind in the state. The main attraction this year is camp speaker John Smith, a well-known evangelist and president of Melbourne's God Squad. Karen Lee Cunningham, a youth worker for the Uniting Church,
our big event. It's
describes
called our
the
Galah.
activities planned for the weekend.
Tonight's our big event. It's called our Galah opening because the theme is Australiana. So we're going to have lots of silly events and everyone comes dressed appropriately. We've got electives tomorrow which look at such issues as alternative lifestyles, a Christian reaction to global situations, basic counselling, how to pray, relationships.
Troy, up till now that trophy is your biggest claim to fame in rugby league.
Sure is.
What is it exactly, Troy?
Player of the Year.
From Penrith?
Yeah.
And you moved to Newcastle, played a couple of games in pre-season football with North Newcastle, and it's all happened for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's happened so fast. You know, I thought it'd be a good stepping stone up here, and it's just, everything's changing.
Certainly has.
Yeah.
A week ago you were in the Newcastle side.
Yeah.
How did you find out about that?
Next door neighbour came over for clipping and showed me. I didn't believe it until my girlfriend came home as well from work and she told me.
And then 1 week later a knock on the door to say you're playing for country at the age of 17.
It's incredible.
You've been pinching yourself?
Been very nervous, so.
You must have been happy with your game on Saturday. Obviously that got the nod to get in the countryside. Tell us about that.
I was very pleased with my game. First half was a bit lazy, but the second half was really good.
Workers at the Newcastle Youth Accommodation Halls and Refuge are concerned by the trend of figures for January, February and March. There's a marked increase in the number of homeless young people and their average age has dropped from just under 17 years to a little over 15. So many youths have sought accommodation that more than half have been turned away because of insufficient facilities. In the first quarter of this year, 98 young people were referred to the Refuge. Only 41 could be assisted. Refuge Coordinator Olive Spears says there's no way of knowing what happens to those who have to be turned away.
I'm really not sure, and that's why it's a great concern. I know that there are some other services in the area, but they can't cope with the needs either.
Are there any groups that you can't take in?
There are some specialised groups that we definitely can't take in, and those are young people who've got a history of psychiatric disturbance. We can't take those because of the other house guests. Also, we can't take young girls with babies, and at the moment there are no facilities for these groups.
Why do you think the number of homeless young people seems to be increasing?
Well, it's really difficult to say, and I think it's something that the Lower Hunter Youth Accommodation Association has to look at quite carefully.
His wife and two teenage children, and another passenger, all stepped from the plane looking remarkably relaxed. Mr. Molyneux admitted, however, that he had been worried for the safety of his family. The emergency landing provided valuable training for rescue services, who will conduct a simulated crash at the Rutherford Strip next week.
Sitting in the floating dock is the giant cargo ship TNT All Trans, which you may recall ran aground on the reef last month. Tugs pulled it off, and All Trans made its own way here for an inspection of the damage. The 3-centimetre thick steel was no match for the diamond tough coral, some of which remains wedged in the gnarled and buckled bulkhead.
Well, the situation at the moment is that the State Dockyard has been given a contract by Bulk Ships, who are the owner of the vessel, to purely dock the vessel for assessment purposes of the damage. That damage is being assessed by the classification surveyors, by the insurance underwriters and the owners.
Would you be confident of getting the contract to repair the boat?
Well, from a dockyard's point of view, we have to go in and bid against our competitors in Australia, who the owners have called in to have a look at the work and put in their bid, obviously. But the dockyard has gone into it in a fairly detailed way, and we're be reasonably confident that we would win the work, yes.
I mean, something like this is a bit of a windfall, and not for the owners of the ship, but for you, and to have the opportunity to get some extensive work like this.
Yes, at this point in time, as far as the dockyard's concerned, we didn't have a ship, so what you say, it is a windfall for the dockyard.
405 manufacturers from throughout New South Wales responded to a joint survey by the Chamber of Manufacturers and the State Bank. 12% of those firms expect employment to rise in the next 3 months, but 16% expect it to fall. In the Newcastle area, the gloom is greater, with 26% of respondents predicting a drop in the employment market. The survey was released yesterday by the Sydney office of the Chamber. The head of the Newcastle office immediately rejected the findings.
Don't believe that the specifics of the Newcastle and more particularly the Hunter region have been taken into consideration. I think that perhaps the state generally has been looked at, and I believe looked at quite objectively. But as far as the Hunter region is concerned, I think we've got an awful lot more to offer than perhaps has been really investigated in this particular report.
So you think that the report has concentrated too much on the steel industry and associated industries?
In this region, I certainly agree with that. We're far more than that. As I've often been quoted as saying, we're textiles, we're clothing, we're wine industry, we're tourism. We've got an awful lot more to offer than I believe the concentration on the steel industry indicates.